Welcome to the YNE podcast.
How are you doing today?
Doing very well. How's everything going on your end?
Oh, very well. How was church service today?
Church was interesting. We had a lot of conversation about relationship. And funny enough, some of the things that we had discussed previously came out. There were questions about infidelity in marriage, how to deal with an unsupportive spouse,
Mhm.
and how to go about improving your relationship with your spouse in general. So it was a very good conversation. A lot of people had a lot of, interesting take. Yeah, it was interesting. You can go back to the YouTube channel and watch the recording. So it's very interesting.
I'll definitely do when I have a chance to some time to. I mean, the relationship, the marriage cannot be overemphasized. It's really, really critical that if you are in a relationship with someone or you are married to someone, to try as much as possible, to be faithful and to be supportive as much as you can. Yeah, we cannot really overemphasize that. It's really, really important, not just for you guys as spouse, it's also healthy for your children because that's what your children will be seeing and then they will carry, on to their adult life. That's really, really important. Today, um, I really wanted us to, shift gear a little bit. I mean, there's so many things happening in the world. There's so many things, happening in Nigeria. Nigeria has, consistently been declined. Their currency, Nigerian currency has been consistently declining compared to almost 13 years ago. Dollar to Naira was exchanging for, about 150, about 160. Approximately, life was significantly more affordable in Nigeria. I think about 30 years ago, a bag of rice, was about 5,000, 6,000 naira. Compared to today, that is almost 80,000, naira. In fact, when I came here about 30 years ago, a bag of cement was selling about 700. Right now, it's closing up about 10,000 naira. So based on all of this and based on what you and I know today, would you still relocate out of Nigeria?
Great question. I mean, it's not just an issue in Nigeria. Inflation is causing a lot of havoc in economies all over the world. But we know that Nigeria has been on a steady decline. The currency has been on a steady devaluation over the year. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm glad I took the opportunity that I had to come to this country. And to answer your question, would I have relocated out of Nigeria knowing what we know now? My answer would be a big yes. It's a big yes. If you think about it, a lot of people in Nigeria today are looking to get out of the country, and thank God we had the opportunity we had at that time to relocate. And I'm glad we didn't miss out on the opportunity because uh, talking about myself, I don't know what I'll be doing today. I'll probably be in the tech industry or be uh, a skit maker, because a lot of people are doing a very good job keeping themselves busy out there, even though we're complaining that the Nigerian economy is bad. A lot of people are still doing significantly better. And the people that are doing better are people that are honed their technical skills, people that have decided to explore other opportunities on the internet. You see people making content, you people see people making skits to make money. And it's working out for a lot of them. A lot of them are popular, they're wealthier, they're able to take care of their family and friends, they're able to support each other, and they're also a blessing to the Nigerian economy. So I'm glad I made a decision that I made. A lot of people were looking for a way to jackpot, as it's been known today, but we jackpot before jackpot became mainstream. And thank God for that. I would have traded for anything. I know the grass is not always greener on the other side, but I would never discourage people looking out there looking out there for other opportunities, looking out there for a decent way of life. Because in Nigeria, like you said, you have to be your own local government. You have to provide your own electricity. You have to provide your own water. You have to provide your own security. And sometimes it can get tired. And if you're not a well-to-do person, if you don't come from a wealthy background, it's gonna be challenging to live life. And this is what push people into doing illegal things. I know we like to talk about values a lot, but it's difficult to maintain your integrity. It's difficult to maintain your value when you are seeing other people do better. And it's not like you're not trying. You're trying your best, but the economy is not just designed for people in the villages, even though they may have a better quality of life, but it's challenging not being able to have money, not being able to take care of your family members, not knowing where your next meal is going to come from. And as we know, a lot of Nigerians, they live below the poverty level. And it's sad. In a country where we have a lot of resources, people are still struggling. And it's not because they're not trying enough. It's because the environment is not enabling them to do well. If you start a business, I don't believe there's a lot of support from the government to help you out. In other countries, you can start a business and take tax benefit as a result of starting a business. In some countries, you get government support to be a startup company, whether you're building tech, whether you're building, whether you're providing services to people. There are a lot of incentives to do that. But in our own nation, it's said that don't have a lot of budget for things like that, and that's where we're lacking it. I believe if our government can fix our electricity issues, if our government can provide enabling environment for businesses to succeed, a lot of people wouldn't need to, seek for a greener pasture. A lot of people wouldn't need to uh, involve themselves in illegal activities to be able to make money, legal activities to be able to feed their family. So I'm glad took the opportunity when we added. It's difficult getting visas these days. And I'm glad we did what we had to do and to get out of there. And I hope the country will be better for the people there, will be better for the people coming behind us. And all we can do is to support from afar, is to support with our finances, to support our family members back home, and then be a blessing to the Nigerian economy.
Yeah, that was an interesting take. I like how you laid it out right there. You touched several things while in the course of your explanation, you hit big on the entertainment industry vis-a-vis the skit and comedy. That has really put Nigeria in the limelight, and I see that a lot of people are actually living very well from that. In fact, the likes of a lot of them, the likes of Pella, the likes of Mr. Funny, the likes of Nasiro, a lot of them, they are doing very good in that perspective. Yeah, you said, I like how you said that the steady decline of Nigerian economy is not peculiar to Nigeria. It's almost like a global problem. But I think Nigeria takes exception from that. Nigeria has steadily declined. People no longer trust the system because a few individuals decide to cut away with with the resources that belongs to the general population. That is why it is difficult to have a moral or have a value in a place like that where you see politicians living in opulence, buying houses, stealing from the system and stuff like that. So, yeah, for me, yeah, based on what I know today, I would have still relocated. Not just for me as a person, probably for my children or, well, let me say at that point, for my unborn children, yeah, I would have still do the same because let's face it, those politicians, wealthy people, a lot of them have a second address. They have a second, if not second to third passport. So if anything happens today in Nigeria, they have another, address to go to. Yeah, I would have still relocated based on what I know right now because, things are not very affordable. House rent is on the high rise. You know, there's a lot of social vices back home. This is not me trying to demean, the country, but I'm just stating the obvious based on what I know. Yeah, I would have stayed.
So I do agree with what you just said. I didn't really think about it, but at that time when I relocated, I did it for myself and indirectly my unborn children as well, because the opportunities that my children have over here, I don't believe staying in Nigeria, having children over there would have had the same opportunity. So I think it's a blessing, and whoever's looking to pursue a greener pasture, definitely do it. Explore other countries out there that are welcoming to immigrants. That will give you a soft landing. That's definitely. So if you were to relocate out of Nigeria today, which country would you prefer to go to and why?
I mean, that's a very tricky question. From many years ago, when I was in PTI, Petroleum Training Institute, my dream, was to relocate to, Russia after graduation. But before graduation, I left Nigeria. So I would still love to, visit that place, not necessarily to live that place, but a place to live permanently. It would still be this place in the US. I mean, for a lot of reasons. I mean, number one, the strength of the currency. Number two, it's not the safest place, but I mean, it's a good place to, to raise family. So far, I think the education system, is quite good. Nothing crazy, so long you live in a very good place. And yeah, if I were to relocate to today, I think I would still come here to the United States.
Yeah, I would have done anything differently. I would have come to the US. And it was the only opportunity I had at that time, and I took the opportunity. So, I mean, I would have loved to relocate to the UK because it's closer to Nigeria. I think it's about 6 hours to Nigeria, and there's a lot of Nigerian community, a large Nigerian community over there, especially in London.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I have other extended family members over there. The second country, or maybe a third country or a third option, would then be Canada. But the cold weather would have definitely discouraged me. Another country that I would have relocated to would probably be China. But because of the language barrier, it might take some time to learn the language, to be able to acclimatize to the culture, to the Chinese culture, to the environment. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people are doing it. A lot of Nigerians are doing business this in China. They found a way to make it work. They found a way to learn the language. Yeah, coming to the US too, whether you're coming from a non English speaking country, it's still going to be challenging for you to speak, to learn, and to fluently speak the American language. I mean, we all have accents. Even Americans, they have accents. If you go to the southern part of the country, you hear the southern accent. If you go to the Midwest, you hear a different accent. If you go to the north, you hear a different accent. But they all come together and still speak English, just like we do in Nigeria. And we come together, we speak English, but there are three major languages in Nigeria, which is Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. Yeah, mean, if you're coming from a non-English speaking country, coming to the US, you would still have to learn the language, which can be challenging. Because I know some of us here, we're not very welcoming to immigrants, especially people that don't speak English. It's not just unique to the Americans. We make fun of people, we stereotype people. And yeah, so I think it's just part of human nature. It's not about demeaning them. We're not trying to demean them, but maybe because they don't hear the English. A lot of people are not patient enough to let those non-English speaking people express themselves. Yeah, and if you go on the internet, just like the current administration did, saying English should be the only major language in the US. We know that, right? English is the only major language. And whoever's coming to the US, you learn the language. So if you're going to Russia, you're going to learn the Russian language. If you're going to China, you're going to learn Mandarin or other languages that they speak in China. So it's not just unique to the US. But I think here in the US, you just need to be calm a little, be welcoming the people that don't speak English, and they're working hard to learn how to speak.
So you're saying we could be more welcoming and we could be more patient with immigrants? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we could do a better job being patient with people. And I'm not trying to generalize. I'm just saying some of us are not very patient with people that don't speak English. Yeah. So I think we all can do a better job. And, we've all been there before. We all started as an immigrant. Even speaking English, coming to the US, it can still be challenging understanding the American slangs, especially when you're just coming in. But as
Mm-hmm.
time goes on, when you watch TV, when you mingle with people, you start to understand what somebody's like.
Yeah, I mean, you are definitely right. It can be very confusing when you just come to America, regardless of where you're coming from. It can be very confusing. They have the way they do their own thing. They don't follow the convention. Like them calling trouser pants, them calling boots trunk. So they have names. They have different names for the conventional terms that we used to know. Like we say cutlass, they say machete. Like everything is confusing. So you really have to spend time to learn all those things. And speaking of you, when you say that China, that you would like to go to China, I think China is a very good place. It's a fast growing place. And with the technology, with the business, everything that is going on there, it's definitely a good place, that one should visit. But relocating to that place and then living there permanently as an immigrant, I don't know how that would be because I have really, had a lot of stories, about China, how they treat people that don't look like them. So I'm not sure, about living there, but definitely going there to do business, going there for like a week or two. Yeah, I can see that. But for me, living there, in fact, I think I would die of hunger if I decide to be living in China because their food there is no one of their food that makes sense to me. This is not me knocking their culture, their food. There is no one of their food that makes sense to me. So I don't know how I will survive it if I decide, relocate permanently in China. But that was a good pick, though. That was a good pick. I mean, based on what we know now, we're already here, and we went to school, we're working, we have family. For me, I still believe that I did not do everything right, that there are certain things, that I could have done differently. So before I say mine, do you think you could have done some things a little bit different, achieve a better result or a better outcome?
To be honest, I don't think I would have done anything differently because when I came, I knew I wanted to finish my degree, um, and I was able to complete it in about 3.5 years. Maybe I could have done a better job, doing it 3 years or less, but I had to start from scratch. I had to take Math 101 and I had to take some English classes, even though I speak a decent English.
Yes.
I still had to take, some English 101, English 102 classes. And I mean, I didn't regret starting afresh. I enjoyed it. I was able to learn the basics of mathematics. They studied in the US, how they teach their math 101, 1 or 2 classes. And it gave me a solid uh baseline of what I needed, what I should expect in my education. And it was a good experience. I loved the way the instructors explained math, you know, it made sense. Everything that I learned in college and year, it was blurry. I wouldn't lie to you, it was blurry. Going back to the basics, the instructor explaining the way they did made everything come back to life. So I would just maybe challenge myself to, get everything done quicker than when I completed it. Like I said, I knew what I wanted and I just went to work. I went to work and got it done. So I was able to uh, finish in about 3.5 years. But my dream when I was younger was to become a medical. I settled for being an engineer and I also settled for a doctorate degree as well. So I don't think I did bad. So that's my take.
I mean, that's a very good way of looking at it. I mean, in life there is no regret. because even if you decide to regret about it, you can really go back to fix anything. So we just keep moving forward. For me, I think I should have listened to you earlier when I came. You asked me to go back to school based on my experience in Nigeria because I went through a lot of frustration in Nigerian school. The lecturers were not nice. The school were not organized. There was nothing functioning. Based on all of those experience, I told you that I'm done with school. But looking back right now, I think I should have listened to you more. Maybe I would have been done with my degree a long time ago. Two, I went to the military. I went to the Navy. I got out for medical. Then knowing what I know today, I think I should have stayed and finished my contract before I left. But other than that, I think everything is going great. I think I married when I was supposed to get married because by calculation, when I turn 50, my son will probably be around 22, 23. So that's a good one. I think everything went as planned. Yeah. So I don't think there's only few things I would have done differently. Maybe started college a little bit earlier, listen to you, and then so maybe stayed in the Navy, toughed it out for the 4 years, and finished my 4 years contract. Those are the two major things that I think, if given the opportunity, I would have do things a little bit different about it.
Yeah, I do agree that the military would have been a good option, a good career. I know a lot of people in the military with, good careers that they've been there for 20 years, 25 years. And we do have a friend in the military now, planning
Mm-hmm.
on sticking around, until the wheels fall off. So I think it's also a good career. And anyone out there looking for a good career, a stable career, should definitely explore the option to go into the U.S. military. It's gonna pay off in the end. It's gonna take a lot of commitment in the beginning. If you tough it out, like you said, it'll be what the time and the energy you would have invested in it. It's a good option.
Yeah, you are definitely right. I'm not making an excuse. I'm not trying to make an excuse why I got out, but it's a lot better today, compared to 10, 11, 12 years ago. At that time, nobody was really into all of that stuff. So when you tell people, hey, this is what I'm planning to do, I'm trying to join the military, or, or I'm in the military, the response is always, you want to go to war, you want to go die in the war. But today is a lot better because there are a lot of people in that line of work. So it's easy for people to get in today. But 10 years ago, no, most Nigerians were not going in that direction. In fact, if they see you going in that direction, they almost think that you are not serious with your life. That was the trend at that time. But today, I thank God that a lot of people are looking in that direction today.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, especially if there's no mentorship, if you don't have anyone that have gone through the process in the past. So it's going to be challenging to make a decision. But now, if we've got a lot of people that have, gone through the process and they enjoy the process, it helps you build your skills. And when you get out of the military with the benefits, you can also work in any organizations you want, that supports your value. You can work and be a productive member of the society.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you are listening to us and you are trying to, chart a path for yourself, I think military is a very good option to go to. If you have a degree, you can go the route of commissioned officer. Otherwise, you can go as enlisted. I mean, there is a whole lot of benefits to being in the military. It gives you the discipline that you need. It gives you, you are dedicated and it makes you focused. And then it helps you stay in shape forever. I mean, staying in shape and being healthy cannot be overemphasized. It helps you with all of that stuff. And there is a great retirement package. And after 20 years, you can retire. I think after 20 or 22 years, you can retire and go do something else, even if you are not 50. So, which is a very good one. And, you know, there's, there's a GI Bill. They can pay for your college, a lot of things that you can get from the military in America. So if you are somebody that just came into America and you are thinking of what to do, I would definitely look in that direction and see what you can get. Maybe go join the army, go join the Air Force. There's not a lot of engineers in the Air Force. Look into that. I think it's a little bit harder to get in the Air Force, but it's doable. Look in that direction. And I think you'll be glad you did.
Yeah, the military is a good career. If you're looking to go that route, it's gonna help you stay in shape. You have a defined retirement benefit. Also, when you get out, you can be a military contractor too. You can go to other countries to be a consultant on behalf of the U.S. There are tons of opportunities out there that I've heard, that I've seen people do. So it will definitely be worth the time that you put in. And I also want us to pivot to something real quick. What strategies can, new immigrants, people coming into the U.S. For the first time, what strategies can they use to be a productive member of society? Or what strategies can they use to succeed in the American system?
From what I know right now, I'm going to talk to you like, based on what I know right now. Having a good host makes all the difference. The person you stay with, because they can only advise you as much as they know. They can be able to tell you what they don't know. So a good host, it starts from a good host, is what makes all the difference. Number one. Number two, if you are trying to immerse yourself into the system and be a productive member of the society, alternative to military, you can become a police officer. That will give you the opportunity to serve your community. And it comes with a lot of benefits. And then it's a union job. It's almost impossible to fire you, unless you've done something very, very, very serious. It has a defined retirement package. It has a defined career path. And it pays significantly well. Right now, Marion County, first year police officer is averaging about 75,000. That's a lot of money. Within 6, 7, 8 years, you could be averaging about 100 and 120,000. That's without a college degree. So that is a route that you can go. You can also join the military. There's a whole lot of other things you can do. If you really want to become a productive member of the society, you can volunteer your time, go to the shelter, volunteer your time, do work in the community, join, political party. It's one of the ways you can drive meaningful change. There are a whole lot of things you can do, but these are the few things, I can advise you to do. Do your research and look into it deeper. There is a whole lot you can do to give you the opportunity to serve your community.
Definitely, I do agree with joining the grassroots politics. As a lot of the changes happen at the grassroots level. It happens in your county, it happens in your state. It's definitely a good idea to be part of your local community. It's a good idea to be part of the politics in your county, the politics in your state. And I think that's one thing we can do a better job as an immigrant. A lot of opportunities do come from local political parties, but if you're not part of it, you're not going to know about it. So, and it's also good because you're representing your community. If you're in Nigeria, if you're Ghanaian, or whichever part of Africa you're from, you're representing African people, you're representing your community. And when it's time to make a change that will impact your community, you're there to advocate for your people. You're there to advocate for your community. I do believe that's one thing we can also get better at. We need to be out of our comfort zone. All we do is work all the time. We need to, spend time, mingle with the people, network to better understand the American culture. And like I said, if you don't speak the language, learn the language. Learn the language. That will definitely create more opportunities compared to when you don't speak the language. And another thing I do want to talk about is, leverage your unique skills. Whatever skills you bring in from your country, maybe you were a doctor in your country, you're a healthcare worker in your country, you're an IT expert in your country. Don't just set your degree aside. Try to build on that skills to be able to leverage it to get yourself in a better position. Once you understand the language, you are able to immerse yourself in the American culture. And then if you already have the unique skills that will make you money, that's how you go about it. That's how you go about making money and being a productive member of the society.
Definitely. I agree with you. Whatever skills you bring from wherever, make sure when you get here, you continue with it. Maybe it will require you to get a certification, or it will require you to write board exam in the case of maybe a medical doctor or a nurse, relocating from Nigeria to this place. They probably will require you to take maybe state board exam or, federal board exam. Don't be scared, study for it and take the exam and then continue in your path, because I think it will be a lot easier for you to continue in your line of work or in what you are doing already compared to starting all over to say you want to go to school. That will be it will take a lot of resources from you, time, money, and everything you can think of. And it even elongate, when you kickstart your career. So those are the things you can do. If you come here as a medical doctor, as a nurse, as a professional, maybe a lawyer, take those professional exams, take those, board exam, and then just continue in your career path.
I definitely agree with everything you said. So, in conclusion, as we all know, your immigrant story is part of the American story. And as an immigrant, your journey is unique. We've seen a lot of immigrants do well in the American society. We've seen immigrants build businesses, build good careers for themselves, and don't count yourself out of the American dream. It's still possible. We know inflation is kicking a lot of people's butt at this time. Where I'll tell you, the American dream is still alive. Just got to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to put in the work, do everything in your power. And I believe with the support of the people around you, with the support of your community, you will definitely achieve your goal. So want to encourage you to subscribe, share, like, comments. Let us hear what you think about our conversation today. And if you have any inputs, always feel free to reach out to us. We're here to support each other. We're here to build a community. So feel free to comment. We hope to hear from you. Again, help us get to that goal of 1,000 subscribers. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.